Olá, estamos aqui no 10º Congresso Brasileiro de Melhoramento de Plantas em Águas de Lindóia, interior de São Paulo. Pesquisadores, estudantes, professores e diversos profissionais da área estão tendo a excelente oportunidade de assistir palestras sobre melhoramento de plantas e interagir com pesquisadores nacionais e internacionais que estão trabalhando com o que tem de mais moderno em melhoramento e outras áreas relacionadas. Nós, do GEVENC, o Grupo de Extensão em Genética e Melhoramento de Plantas da Exalc-USP, com o apoio da Sociedade Brasileira de Melhoramento de Plantas e do GENT, que é o Grupo de Divulgação Científica da Exalc-USP, fizemos algumas entrevistas com os palestrantes presentes aqui no evento. Os entrevistados de hoje participaram do Smart Tool for Plant Breeding, uma série de palestras com renomados pesquisadores internacionais com o apoio da Corteva AgriScience e o suporte da Sociedade Brasileira de Melhoramento de Plantas. Estamos aqui com o professor Mark Cooper, da Universidade de Queensland, na Austrália. Hi, Professor Cooper.
Hi.
Welcome to Brazil. Thank you for accepting our invitation. So, can we start the questions?
Yes, please.
At first, could you please talk a little bit about yourself, your research path in science, and how you came up being a professor at the University of Queensland?
Yep. My background started off being very interested in science when I was really young, evolution and genetics, and as I progressed through studies, I learned about the applications of genetics in agriculture, got really interested in those areas, and then started to study plant breeding and quantitative genetics, and from there did graduate studies in that area. And that sort of opened up an opportunity for me to take on a number of positions in plant breeding. And I was fortunate enough to collaborate with a lot of people around the world, managed to move around the world, learn a lot about agriculture globally, work with people in the public sector and in the private sector, held positions in both of those areas. And then fortunately the University of Queensland was kind enough to offer me a position to really focus on the research that I was interested in and keep collaborating with people. So that took me to Australia, to the University of Queensland, where I now have a position that allows me to conduct the research and interact with people and come to fabulous places like here in Brazil with you.
Thank you, very inspiring. So, talking about your research lines, how can they reflect in current plant breeding programs?
Yeah, it's a good question. I think that what I've really always been interested in is building an understanding of how plants actually respond to agricultural environments. And then two parts to that are building a theoretical framework that allows us to develop methodologies and technologies that can be used in plant breeding programs to accelerate the outcomes from those breeding programs. And I've been fortunate enough then to have opportunities to put those into practice. And from doing that type of work, some of the technologies that I've been involved in developing, applications of genomic selection, breeding for drought resistance, have resulted in the development of some of the successful hybrids and also varieties in collaboration with others for crops that are now grown in agriculture around the world.
How do you think an event like the 10th Brazilian Congress of Plant Breeding can impact in the future of Brazilian agriculture?
I think that the greatest opportunity from impact is the really good discussions, the connections that people will make. They'll last longer into the future than some of the details that people are talking about at the meeting. Building networks of collaborators will be the foundation for current and future research that you actually do. So, I think these events are really critical for success and improvement and advancement in science and its applications to agriculture through plant breeding.
In your opinion, what are the perspectives of genetics and plant breeding in the next years?
So I think in the next years, what you'll actually find is that with the improvement in the technologies that we've actually got now, we're going to get to a much deeper and deeper understanding of the genetic control of some of the important traits that people are targeting in plant breeding programs, that information combined with the technologies that we're actually developing will be able to help people to design new breeding strategies that will increase the opportunities that we have for effective use of genetic variation in agriculture. These are really important issues because the effective use of genetics really is important for global food security and also for ensuring that we actually have desirable environmental footprints in agriculture through the things that we're actually doing in agricultural research.
What are your advice for those people who are studying or applying genomic selection, especially regarding genotyping, phenotype, and plant breeding methods?
So the best advice that I would give is the same advice I would give to anybody in science, is to be inquisitive, to don't believe anything that you're actually told, ask to see the data, test the assumptions, and then in the end you will have to take whatever ideas you find out about into your own experience and try them and find out if they work for your situation. Plant breeding is a really interesting discipline, the way that it's written about in the literature, because people only write about the things that work. And in plant breeding, less than 1% of the things that you actually try in a breeding program actually work. So 99% of what you're doing really fails. But the experience that you get from all of those failures prepares you to recognize success when it actually happens. So I think that my advice to people is never be afraid to try. Even if you're worried about things not working, you'll learn from actually trying those things. Those failures will actually allow you to identify success. And that'll be the case for phenotyping, understanding the genetics of traits, genomic selection, and all of the other technologies that are necessary to make that work. Don't be scared to try.
Thank you, Dr. Cooper, for your answers. So, thank you for this great interview. Essa foi então a entrevista com o professor Mark Cooper, da Universidade da Austrália. Aproveite para seguir nossas mídias sociais do GVENC, que estão na descrição do vídeo. Obrigada!